position of continents, as you observe, so this physical map of the world were not distributed similar in the different geological times and will not be same in the future too. It means the positions of the oceans and the continents are continuously changing their position, and that continuously changing position is known as drifting of continents. And in geography, we all know that geography deals with the study of why, what, and how aspects of geographical phenomena. What refers here, what was the different positions of the continents in the different geological times, and how refers here how the drifting of or changing of the position of different continents took place, and the why refers here what is the mechanism for such drifting of continents. And we will study all these geographical inquiry into the geographical phenomenon in the latter part of this in this chapter only. So different theories we are like to develop. And the first such theory which explains the distribution of oceans and continents are continental drift. Object this is a coastline of Atlantic Ocean. You can find there is a great symmetry of the coastline on the either side of ocean. If you fit Africa with South American continent, it can easily be fit together. And it was the interesting topic for many scientists who thought that of who thought of this similarity and considered the possibility of two Americas, Europe and Africa, to be once joined together. It means all these four continents were once joined together. And in the group of such scientists was the first Abraham Ortelius. He was the Dutch cartographer who first proposed such a possibility as early as 1596, and it was Antonio Pellegrini who enhanced the Bacon's discovery of comparing the coastline of Africa and South America, but it was still rejected by four people of the time. The similar kind of possibility was given in 1858 by Antonio Pellegrini. Then we know that the continental drift theory Alfred Wegener, who was German meteorologist, who gave Gondwana. Actually, it was once united. All the continents, as we observe on the map of world, were once united to form Pangaea, and it was suggested by the Alfred Wegener. It was a kind of hypothesis which suggests that the gigantic supercontinent, which was 200 million years ago, gigantic supercontinent means all the continents, all the seven continents, as we observe on the map of the world, were once united to form the gigantic supercontinent. And the name of that gigantic supercontinent was Pangaea. And the Pangaea means all Earth. Pangaea is the German word which means all Earth. Before 200 million years ago, that is known as Jurassic period. At that time, first split within the Earth was formed. That split was a kind of breakup which creates the two smaller supercontinents. Northern part of the supercontinent was known as Laurasia, and the southern part of that supercontinent was known as Gondwana. Gondwana name consists of South America, Africa, Antarctica, Asia, and Australia. While the Laurasia part of Pangaea was consists of North America, Europe, and Eurasia. And that Pangaea was surrounded by the large Penthalisha Ocean. The Pangaea, the supercontinent, was surrounded by large, or you can say mega ocean named Penthalisha. And you can see here between Africa, India, and Australia in the southern part, and in the Laurasia in the northern part are Cape. And you know that Himalayas were uplifted. Actually, the theory was not accepted by many, many different geographers and scientists at that time because the Wegener could not explain about the driving force which results into drifting of and the evidences which suggested for drifting of continents was not sufficient as it was to be proposed to be accepted by all the geographers. It is now accepted that the plate carrying the continents do move across the Earth's surface. Ironically, one of the chief outstanding questions is the Wegener failed to resolve what is the nature of the force propelling the plates to move on. Now we come to the evidences which were suggested by Alfred Wegener. Theory was first one is the fit of the continents, or you can say the matching of continents. Second one is similarity of fossils in the continents. Next is similarity of rock types and age along the matching coastlines. Next is the continuity of geological features from continent to continent. Next is presence of cold streams in Antarctica. And the last one is tilites. You can see here in the left diagram which represents the model of the earth. All the seven continents were once united to form the single super landmass named Pangaea.
And now we come to the first evidence which supports the continental drift theory is the fitting of the continents. You can observe the symmetry of the coastlines on the either side of Atlantic Ocean, just between the Africa that is represented by grey color and South America represented by green color. In between these two continents lies the Atlantic Ocean. You can observe the symmetry of the coastline. If we try to fit these two continents, South America and Africa, it can easily be fit to each other. Coastlines of South America and Africa and North America and Europe. If you like to join the North America with Europe, you can also be fit together. Different shorelines, it was suggested that the continents were once joined together. Joined together. Now come to the next evidence which suggests the continental theory is the similarity of fossils found in different continents. One such fossils of the animal is Mesosaurus. Mesosaurus was a small reptile and it was adapted to shallow brackish water. It was adapted to the shallow brackish water or saline water. The skeleton of these are found only in two localities. That is, first one is the Southern Cape province of South America, and the next is the Erevar formation of Brazil. It suggests that these two localities were once joined together but now are separated as far as 4800 kilometers. You can see here the drifting of the continents to a such large distance. One such you can see here also fossils are the traces and remains of the organism that lived in prehistoric times. One example is the lemurs, which occurs in India, Madagascar, and Africa, are similar and observe that, and it is considered that the lemur existed on the contiguous landmass that is known as Lemuria, and it suggests the linking of these three landmasses, and these all can be linked only when all these different continents which we find in the different positions on the earth were once joined together. Third one is the climate evidence. The climate change evidence you can find here the glacial deposits at current equator. The glacial deposits can only be found at the place which receives the perennial snow. But in the case of equator, there is a continuous high temperature, but the evidence of glacial deposits at the current equator And the fossilized palm trees in the Greenland. Greenland lies in the higher latitude and which receives the perennial snowfall, and the palm trees are the original tree of the tropical areas only, or the low latitude area only. And this distribution of the different flora and fauna life in different geological formations suggests that all these land masses were once joined together. You can see here debris from glacier found in the areas that have that are now hot, or you can say in tropical areas or near to the equator, and the plant fossil found in the areas where it is too cold for the plant to grow. These are the amazing facts before the scientist, or you can say this is the kind of puzzling questions. The tropical fossils in the Arctic area and the glacier or ice evidence in the Sahara area. Now comes to the tillites. Tillites are the sedimentary rocks formed by the deposition of glaciers. You can see here in this diagram here the glaciers which is slowly falling from the mountains to the valleys, and through this flowing of the glaciers erodes the mountainous surface and helps in the formation of sedimentary rocks, or in another term, and that is tillite. And the distribution of tillites in the Gondwana system of sediments from India are linked with the same tillites of the Africa, Falkland Islands of the South America, Madagascar Island of Africa, Antarctica, and the Australia. Overall, you can see here the tillites of the same age were found in Africa, South America, India, and Australia. It suggests that there is evidence of paleoclimates and also of drifting of continents. Now comes the geologic evidence. The rocks of the same age and the types and displaying the same formation are found in southeast Brazil and South Africa. You can find on the coastal area of South Africa and the eastern part of the Brazil the are of same age. The rocks found in the western coast of South Africa and the eastern coast of Brazil are of similar age or similar mineral composition. The placer deposits and of the placer deposits of gold in the Ghana coast of the western part of the Africa. You can find there is no source rock, and the source rock is found on the eastern coast of Brazil, but placer deposit is not found on the source rock of the Brazil. It is only found on the Ghana coast, and the earlier name of the Ghana coast was Gold Coast. Now the production of gold in the Ghana coast is not high as it was in the earlier phase. But the geographical fact is that the source region is not found in the Ghana, but the placer deposits are found there. golds are found in the placer deposits. The source rock is not found there, and the source rock is found on the eastern coast of Brazil. And this suggests that this Brazil were the coast of Brazil were attached to the coast of Ghana, or in another word, the South America was joined with the Africa before 200 million years ago, that is Jurassic period. The trends of the mountains in the eastern USA and the northwest Europe are similar when placed in their old position. If you try to attach the USA with the Europe, you can find similarity of their position. It can easily fit into another. The continuity of geologic features from continent to continent. Mountain ranges line up along the matching coastline. Through the various evidences, Wegener formulated his theory of continental drift. But to make drift of such a large landmass required a tremendous amount of energy. Drifting of such a large landmass requires the tremendous amount of energy. And he suggested the driving force for such a large drifting of continent are by two different forces. First one is polar flying force that relates to the rotation of the earth. And you know that the bulging of the earth in the center, or you can say on the equatorial part, are with the result of the rotation of the earth on its axis. And the second driving force behind the drifting of the landmass is tidal force. Tidal force are the force which are attracted, or the gravitational force of combined force of sun and the moon, a kind of attraction or gravitational attraction of the sun and moon. These are the two driving force. That is, first one is the force related to the rotation of earth, that is polar flying force. Second one is tidal force, are responsible for such a large scale drifting of the continents. But his theory was not accepted by the geographer community all over the world. He could not prove how or why the continents moved. So there are many theories apart from the continental drift theory, which we will later in the next part of our session.